Hello everyone, I am glad to have you here. Today I begin by selecting a rusty drill bit, an ideal choice for crafting a high-quality karambit. However, today I'm focused on creating a low-layer Damascus steel. To achieve this, I'll fire up my coal forge. Some years back I made this forge to achieve high temperature, but at this moment I don't want to overcook my drill bit, so I will be more careful with the temperature. I'm manually retwisting the drill bit to maximize the flute opening. It is not easy to twist even it's red hot. Next I'll use my 40 kilograms power hammer to forge the steel into a flat bar. I thoroughly enjoy every step of the forging process, as knife making is fun but sometimes it's a challenging hobby. The hardness and the sharpness of your knife depends on your steel choice, especially when you are making Damascus you need to be wise. Here is the steel bar ready to be grinded, so I am using my surface grinder to grind of all the scales, which forms when oxygen hits directly to a red-hot iron layer creating iron oxide. Marking the bar is not important though, but I need all the pieces to be identical in shape and size. And adding a white contrast steel with high nickel content and restacking the billet. Here I am saving 2 pieces of the same bar for making the handle of Karambit ladder. Please note that welding can be hazardous to your eyes. This time I'm utilizing my custom-made gas furnace, and adding borax to the billet creates an oxygen-free environment, allowing the layers to forge well together seamlessly and strongly, eliminating any voids or imperfections. Each strike of the power hammer shapes the steel like a piece of butter. I am again turning my billet into a solid steel bar. Scales makes it difficult to forge weld the layers together, although forge welding through scales is not impossible. It's a more challenging task and less desirable approach. Cutting and restacking the bar again to increase the number of layers. Despite wearing gloves and safety boots, the fiery scales sometimes burn my skin. It's crucial to take precautions. Working with red-hot metal is not an easy job. Now I'm using my own custom-made round dies from a previous project. This will yield a beautiful low-layer Damascus pattern. Now is the time to forge the bar into my desired thickness of approximately 7 millimeters in raw form. I don't need any excess material, so cutting the piece and reshaping manually to bring out the desired shape. Shaping the spine with precise hammering, I create a curve which will be mirrored by the layers within the bar, revealing a beautiful Damascus pattern once the final shape is achieved. With the forging process now complete, I'm thrilled to hold a stunning low-layer Damascus bar in my hands. But before I proceed, I need to boot up my computer. After forging and grinding the steel, we need a template of the knife, and the best help is Opera. Opera browser is offering a free browser AI feature named Aria, which is perfect for asking questions. Here I will take some inspiration in making a template for my knife because it can generate pictures based on my idea in a few clicks. You can get brief explanations on any topic you want. Just highlight any text online and explore the topic or a translation. For checking updates from my social media, Opera gives me a well-organized sidebar, which makes it effortless to use, allowing me to easily stay connected. Now I have quick control of my messages and social updates without leaving the Opera. I'm done with ads because there is a built-in ad blocker which you can turn on in just a single click, giving me cleaner and smoother browsing. If I want to hide my location and protect my information, there is a free VPN built in. No extensions are needed. It's also, of course, completely free to use, so I think that it's worth at least giving it a try, and you can download it right now by clicking the link in the description. Well, let's go back to the knife. The template fits perfectly on the Damascus bar, but I must admit that I'm not a fan of cutting steel with an angle grinder, despite it being the fastest method. Instead, I'll carefully remove excess material, leaving some behind for precise grinding later. When cutting or grinding, I always monitor the sparks, as they can indicate the steel's quality, a technique known as the spark test. This test reveals whether the steel is low or high carbon. In this case, the sparks suggest that our steel will yield a high-quality karambit, which is a good sign. I purchased this household milling machine a couple of years ago, and I'm extremely fond of it due to its variable speed controller. This feature prevents my drill bits from burning and protects my workpieces from damage. Before drilling, I normalized my karambit to reduce the effort required for grinding and drilling. However, please note that grinding steel releases particles that can be harmful to our lungs. Now the shape is revealed, and it looks perfect. I always draw boundary lines before proceeding to create the bevel, with the center line being the most crucial to ensure accurate grinding. I start with a 50 grit sanding belt, progressing up to 500 grit before quenching. I strongly recommend wearing safety masks at all times when performing this task to minimize the risk of inhalation and ensure your safety. My temperature-controlled oven is ideal for heating and tempering blades. I will heat the knife to 950 degrees Celsius, which is the critical and ideal temperature for quenching this karambit in a preheated oil. The knife has reached the desired level of hardness to hold a sharp edge. Next, I'll begin the hand sanding process, starting with 100 grit, which may take several hours to complete. Once I've finished with 100 grit, I'll move on to 220 grit, using oil to assist the process. I recall that when I first started learning hand sanding, I often got injured, so it's essential to be cautious and vigilant when sanding a bevel. As I progress to finer grits, I expect to achieve even better results. I'm excited to reveal the low-layer pattern using ferric chloride as an etching agent and an alkaline solution for neutralizing the blade. Some people use sulfuric acid to etch the blade, depending on the anatomy of steel, but most common is ferric chloride among the bladesmiths. I like the shiny contrast between the layers, so I will leave as it is. The blade is now finished. I am starting to work on handle. Do you remember the two pieces which I saved for the handle at the very initial forging? I will craft the entire karambit from a single drill bit. This time I'm using a small bandsaw to precision cut the handle design. Since these pieces are normalized, they can be easily cut by a high-speed steel saw blade. In contrast, hardened steel would ruin the saw blade instead of being cut. The handle and knife will be attached together using 2 screws, requiring precise hole drilling with exact measurements. I'm grinding the final shape of handle size, but still need to remove excess material for finger grips. I will create a detailed layout to precisely remove material and craft a comfortable, perfect grip. This will not only enhance the knife's functionality, but also add aesthetic appeal to the overall design, making it a beautiful piece. This is a time-taking task using a pin grinder. Removing sharp edges and achieving the final shape can take several hours, but the result is worth it. I enjoy the polishing process, which is relatively easy and fun. Next, I'll use fine grits to achieve a mirror shine on the handle, matching the karambit blade's finish. Wet sanding the pieces for making them smooth and ready for mirror shine. So far, so good. Should we add a design to both handles? I'm sketching a rough design with a pencil. Laser engraving is ideal for deep engravings, saving time and producing precise designs with minimal effort. The final look will be revealed on the buffing machine, where it will achieve a mirror shine. The components are now ready for assembly. I'm thrilled with how they've turned out. Mirror shiny finish and deeply engraved design are truly captivating. Assembling the knife is straightforward, no rocket science required. It's simply a matter of attaching the handle to the knife using just 2 screws. All you need is an Allen wrench to tighten the bolts securely. Can you believe this was once just a rusty piece of junk? It reminds me of the old saying, one person's trash is another person's treasure, and now, this beautiful Damascus karambit is ready for action. I haven't even sharpened this knife yet, but it's still cutting through bottles with ease, like they're made of butter. I intentionally haven't honed it to a razor-sharp edge, as I'm concerned it might cause accidental injury. If you enjoy this video and karambit, please consider to give it a like and subscribe to my channel for upcoming great projects. Stay healthy and focused. See you in the next video.